going on, dudes and dudettes? It is Deadbolt here, bringing back some more SCP reactions, and today we got another one from Dr. Bob. I really like this channel. I really like the animation, so I want to do more reactions from this one. But today we got SCP-181 Lucky. I want to make a prediction, but oh, there it is. It's safe. Okay, well, that doesn't really help that much. If I had to guess, this SCP, it's just judging by this first image. What if it's a deck of cards that you win when you use them, but genie's lamp type thing, you lose something, or it's something bad happens. That's what I'm getting at. Let's get into it already.
23 bust, the dealer says before scooping up the cards from in front of the man, who appears to be growing increasingly angry as his stack of chips increasingly dwindles in size. Making matters worse for the man are the cheers of excitement coming from the nearby craps table.
That's why I don't gamble.
All of the luck that he has lost has somehow been transported.
Oh, shit.
The blackjack dealer once again reveals an ace and a king, another burst of noise comes from the craps game. 7 again, the croupier cries before placing a huge stack of chips in front of the young man playing craps, who seemingly can't lose. The young man on the hot streak collects his winnings and walks happily through the crowded casino floor, right past the fuming man at the blackjack table.
He's gonna die.
The young man cashes in his chips and counts the large stack of $100 bills given to him before tipping one to the woman working inside the cage. And this night is far from a rarity for this young man. For his entire life, it's been as if he couldn't lose. He's not strong, fast, or especially smart, but he's always managed to excel thanks to his one incredible gift: his never-ending good luck. The young man soon recognized his ability to consistently beat games of chance and went to the one place in the world best suited for his skills:
Vegas.
Las
Yes,
Vegas.
of course.
And
Of
Vegas
course.
has been very, very good to him. He lives in an expensive hotel room right on the strip, drives fancy cars, and treats himself nightly to lavish dinners and shows.
You live in a hotel room in Vegas? What the hell, man? I mean, I guess if you're rich, but still, be smart with your money. That shit's expensive. What the heck? He couldn't think to get an apartment, or, well, no, I guess the apartments around the strip are kind of shit. God damn it. Okay, well, still, get a house or something. Why do you have to live on the strip? I get you gambling, and also I'm pretty sure you would get banned. That's the thing about gambling. It's mostly in favor of the casino, and if you're good at it, they'll ban you, from playing, or you'll have to only play high stakes games, and even then, it's pretty weird, how they work things in the strip. If the casino isn't making money, then you're a problem. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, if you win, you win, but if you're winning a lot, they'll launch an investigation. And even if you come up, oh, it was legit, it's still yeah, we're gonna ban you anyways, just to be sure, just to make sure.
It's all possible because no matter what the game is, it's as if he could never lose. The young man is in the middle of another hot streak, or rather, continuing his never-ending hot streak, this time at the roulette table. How does he keep doing it? Someone in the crowd asks as the man hits another number straight up, paying out 37-1 on his bet. Okay,
if you get your number right a bunch of times in a row, that's sus. The casino would sus you. If you're it's gonna land on 7 and it lands on 7, yeah, a bunch of times, 7, and you're choosing random numbers, the odds of that happening are very, very, very low. So you're sus already. That wouldn't be a thing.
The crowd cheers and slaps the man on his back as a crowd is formed who are following along with his every bet, piggybacking on his luck as much as they can. The man is just about to place another large bet when he's suddenly interrupted by a strong hand gripping his upper arm.
Yep.
The young man turns to find a large, toothy grin staring back at him. The smiling man continues to hold on to the young man's arm as he explains how impressed the casino is with his skill. He must be the luckiest man they've ever had the pleasure to have visited their casino, and the fact that he's been able to sustain that same run of luck night after night has been truly awe-inspiring.
And then he just whispers in his ear, "If you don't stop playing, we're gonna break your legs." That's how that would go down.
The young man thanks him for his kind words and tries to turn back to the table, but finds that the man won't let go of his arm, gripping it even tighter now than before. "We've been so impressed, in fact," the man tells him, "that the owners of this casino have requested the chance to meet with you."
Hmm.
The young man looks down at the huge, powerful hand holding his arm, and even though he's unaware that it belongs to a former heavyweight contender, he's still able to recognize that this request isn't an optional one. "Sure," the young man tells him. "Just let me grab my chips and..." But the man begins to pull him away from the table, telling him that there's no need to worry. The casino will take care of his winnings. "After all, we have cameras everywhere. Who would steal?" The young man is soon pushed through a doorway into a space that looks like a police interrogation room, with just a single table and a couple of chairs, one of which a small, older man is sitting in. The ex-boxer wrenches the young man's arm down onto the table and holds it in place there. The young man screams as the boxer grabs a hammer with his free hand and raises it into the air, ready to bring it down on the young man's fingers. "Well?" the old man sitting across from him asks. The young man has started to cry a little, but between whimpers he manages to ask, "Well, what?" The old man wants to know how the young man is cheating. No one wins the way he does, over and over, night after night, no matter the game. The young man insists that he isn't cheating. He's just lucky. He always has been. But the old man isn't buying it. He nods to the boxer, who raises the hammer up again, but still the young man doesn't admit to anything. "I'm just lucky. I'm just lucky," he keeps repeating over and over in between sobs. The old man stands up and pats him on the shoulder. "Maybe you are," he says, before slipping something into the man's pocket. The police then enter the room and immediately take a set of loaded dice from the same pocket. He's in real trouble now. The young man is shoved into a holding cell at the jail and looks around at the other men, wondering if his luck has finally run out. He squeezes in on one of the benches lining the wall and accidentally bumps the man sitting next to him, waking him up from his nap. The man is angry at having been disturbed, but grows even angrier when he realizes who just woke him.
Yeah, that's the same dude.
Man who seemed to take all the luck. The young man doesn't seem to have noticed that he's upset at him at all, though. What he has noticed is that there's a penny on the floor in front of him.
It's heads.
The young man bends to pick it up just as the man next to him throws a haymaker. His fist slams into the wall right where the young man's head just was, shattering many of the bones in his hand. The young man jumps up with a fright and runs across the small cell as the other men being held also leap to their feet, some crying out in confusion, others cheering on the violence. The young man cries out to the guards for help, but no one seems to be coming to his aid. He looks around the cell, but there's nowhere for him to hide. The angry man, now madder than ever with a hand that is rapidly turning purple and blue, approaches him. He lifts the young man up with his good hand, holding him in the air by his throat. "I'm gonna kill you," the man cries before the door to the cell opens. The young man watches as the taser prongs fired by the jail guards appear on the man's chest, and he drops the young man to the floor before falling backwards from the 50,000 volts coursing through his body. The young man would learn the next day that the angry man was dead before he even hit the floor, the result of a congenital heart defect and a lot of bad luck. The young man stands before...
Wouldn't the electricity go, like, through him as well? Like, okay, whatever. I like how they're building up to, like, what the SCP is. Like, because we haven't even learned what the SCP is. We're just seeing what it's doing. You know, they're showing, not telling. And I really like that. It is really good.
For a judge who is listing off the charges against him, which include cheating, a felony in this state that can result in a sentence of up to 5 years in prison. "But this isn't your first offense, is it?" the judge asks. The young man tries to explain that those previous times were all mistakes. He's never cheated in his life, but the judge doesn't want to hear it. The young man is sitting in the hallway outside the courtroom when his lawyer emerges from his meeting with the judge and prosecutor. "Boy, are you a lucky guy," his lawyer tells him. He goes on to explain that even though the case against him is airtight, the charges are going to be dropped, provided he admits himself to a special program. The young man assumes it must be some kind of gambling addiction program. In no way is he addicted to gambling, but what choice does he have? It's either that or prison.
Are you sure?
The choice is easy. As the young man exits the courthouse, he is approached by a man in a suit who leads him to a black van parked nearby. The young man is placed in the back and immediately notices that there is a cage separating the back from the front seat, like a prison transport van. The young man is growing nervous. Where are they taking him? This all seems like it's happening so fast. Can it even be legal? And what about his things that were taken at the jail? "Excuse me," he asks the driver. "What about my things? I don't even have my wallet." "Don't worry about that," the man driving the van tells him. "You won't need any of that anymore. You're D-class now."
Oh, what?
The man doesn't have any idea what that means, but he can tell it isn't good. His luck may have finally ran out. The young man, who once lived the life of a professional Las Vegas gambler, was given a new name, D87465. But as you'll see,
That's kind of messed up, not gonna lie. Like, I was under the impression that D-Class were mostly evil people, and here, like, this guy doesn't really seem like he's done anything wrong. Like, he's just a guy, you know, who's extremely lucky, I'm guessing due to an SCP, you know, and now he has bad luck because he's a D-Class. And I'm guessing they're gonna perform experiments on him to see. Oh man, poor guy. I feel
That
bad.
name wouldn't last very long, and soon would be known as SCP-181,
Oh,
or
okay.
as the SCP Foundation staff like to refer to him, Lucky.
Oh, so he's just the SCP.
SCP-181 was first noticed by the Foundation following his being arrested for repeatedly defrauding the Nevada Gaming Commission. He was
Nevada.
originally made a member of the Foundation's
It's pronounced Nevada, not Nevada. Oh my god.
Class D personnel, the guinea pigs of the SCP Foundation who are used for various tests with anomalies in order to better understand their properties. However, it soon became clear that the man's ability to consistently beat the odds had nothing to do with cheating. In his first experiment, which took place at Armed Reliquary Containment Area 02, where he and several other Class Ds were exposed to an SCP that is known to incite extreme anger and murderous tendencies in those who come into contact with it.
That's messed
Just
up.
as expected, one of the other D-Class members became enraged and began rampaging, killing all of the other Class Ds present, all except for one. Through what appeared to be a stroke of good luck, the frenzying D-Class seemed to miss D-87465, who had laid down on the ground amongst the other bodies and was playing dead.
I would have done that too.
The team soon
Not
entered
gonna
the
lie.
experimentation cell and put down the rampaging D-Class, sparing D-87465. He was next submitted to a test with SCP-075, a creature that resembles a large snail with
hell?
a muscular foot shaped like a six-fingered clawed hand. SCP-075 is much heavier than its small size makes it seem like it should, weighing approximately 860 kilograms.
Jesus Christ.
Despite this, it is able to move at an extremely high speed, quickly leaping towards anyone who comes near it and spraying them with a deadly corrosive liquid. D-87465
That's like a little
was
bullet.
placed in a cell with SCP-075 as part of a test to measure its speed and reaction time. But despite SCP-075 having immediately killed all other prior D-classes during tests, D-87465 somehow managed to keep avoiding its leaping attacks. He was always able to guess which direction to move in order to dodge the deadly snail, like a soccer goalie who always picks the right way to dive to stop penalty kicks. Having now survived not one, but two experiments that exposed him to
I feel so bad for this guy because, like, they're not even like giving him a break. Like, they're just putting him in situations that will result in his death, and like without them knowing his like, you know, ability. They're just like, you know what, you're dead. You know, you gambled, you cheated in gambling. That's punishable by death, bro. I'm sorry. Like, come on. I hope he lives.
Keter class anomalies. Researchers needed to find out if D-87465 was himself anomalous or simply a statistical anomaly. In order to test this, the D-Class was placed in the containment cell of SCP-082, better known to most as Fernand the Cannibal, a grotesquely huge humanoid with ogre-like features who often dresses like a Victorian-era aristocrat and will regale his guests with outlandish stories before inevitably eating them. But there was
Jeez.
something different about D-87465. After a full month of survival in 082's cell, a length of time that had resulted in all the previous test subjects being consumed, SCP researchers suspected that this D-Class's incredible ability to survive was much more than dumb luck.
Yes.
But they needed to test him even more to see if his powers extended beyond just the ability to survive. D-87465 was removed from regular D-Class duties, and researchers began
Thank
performing
God.
various tests on him, watching as he flipped a coin 50 times in a row, with it coming up heads every single time. Similar results occurred when they had him roll pairs of dice that would always total up to 7, or when they had him
Hey.
pick random cards out of a deck, and he was able to pull all 13 hearts in a row. Foundation researchers were now convinced that this man was more than just lucky. He seemed to possess the ability to create an unnatural effect on probability, though researchers suspected that he was generating this effect without being aware of it. At this point, D-87465 was reclassified and given a new designation, SCP-181. Further testing confirmed that SCP-1...
They missed an opportunity. They should have named him SCP-777, you know, for the lucky number and the slot machines. That would have been cool. All right.
181 is able to affect causal probability, and that it really does occur through no action of his own. However, there's more to SCP-181 than simply being lucky, as researchers soon found out. In an audit of death and injury rates at Bioresearch Area 12, where SCP-181 is contained, it was discovered that both had increased dramatically in the time since he was brought there. It seems that SCP-181 doesn't simply create his own good luck. He, in some ways, saps it from others simply by being present.
Oh no.
It now appears that every lucky moment he experiences results in the opposite happening to someone else. For every 7 he rolls on a pair of dice, someone else gets snake eyes.
Damn.
And for every death-defying escape he makes, someone else must die.
Oh,
There's no
damn.
telling how far his ability might scale. Could he survive a nuclear blast? And if he did, what would be the result in order to even out the odds?
What if he shot him point
In
blank?
light of these new discoveries, SCP-181 was removed from his low-level containment cell where he was allowed to occasionally interact with D-Class personnel for entertainment purposes, and was moved to Site-27,
Aw.
where he was placed in solitary confinement and classified as safe. All interactions with staff are now limited to the bare minimum in order to ensure his survival and security, without risking any events that might result in him getting lucky. Now go and watch another entry from the files of Dr.
Why doesn't he just escape? Like, how? Like, that brings into question how they were able to capture him in, like, the first place. How, like, why didn't his luck kick in during his court case, like his court hearing or nothing? You know, like, or when he was arrested or with that mob boss, you know? Like, I mean, I guess you could argue it did, because, like, that guy didn't smash his fingers and, you know, he got arrested, but he got let off, I mean, to the SCP Foundation, but still, you know, I mean, he's alive. But damn, I still feel like solitary confinement is a pretty harsh punishment for, you know, existing. Like, that's the only thing this guy is guilty of. Like, he can't control that. But isn't there a DC comic character that has a similar ability? I think she was in The Flash. Like, the luckier she is, the more bad luck she like causes on everybody else. It's an interesting concept though, like just that this guy saps luck out of everybody else. What's the rest of this?
Like SCP-007, Abdominal Planet, another humanoid SCP that is even stranger than this one. And make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single anomaly as we delve further and further into the SCP Foundation's classified archives.
I want to watch this one next. It looks silly and it looks funny as well. Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to be miserable or something. That seems to be the common denominator for all these SCPs that are just normal guys, but you know, they always have something bad happen to them. But I really like this video and I really like this channel. Be sure to subscribe to Dr. Bob if you haven't already. You know, get him to freaking 1 million subscribers, or get him to 2 million or 3 million or more. That would be amazing. But alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.